Normally with a full brow, you would just need a hint of powder and a bit of gel to seal it. With a brow like mine that has sparseness on one side especially, it just won't grow in. I usually use a liner brush. I take my pinky finger, I put it on my cheek, and then I hold the brush with my index, my middle finger, and my thumb in order to control my brush. This way I have a nice angle and balance on my face so I can keep control of my brush. I then put powder on and apply specifically to the area that's gapping especially. That's where I need the most powder deposited initially. You definitely don't want to put the powder in the full area of the brow. You'll end up having a hard look in that spot. So you really take it slowly, delicate strokes in the hair's direction, just where you need it. Then I take what's left on my brush and put it into the spot that needs the powder the least. Q-tips are really useful. Sometimes you can put a little bit of makeup remover on the tip or no makeup remover at all, and you can trim things that have spilled over from your application. Again, short strokes are best. Dealing with a brow that's gapping, it is very tricky. It takes a bit of practice and time. I'm using my short strokes again and I'm going right where I need it. But things can get a little difficult because you need to look back and forth sometimes to the other brow and make sure it's all balancing. You want to make sure it goes as low as the first brow that's full, and you're always matching the fuller brow. You're never matching the thinner brow. Fuller brows are absolutely in. I'm currently boosting one of my eyebrows, trying to get it to fill up as much as my fuller brow. I'm using one of these great formulas that are on the market at the moment, which I'll cover in another chapter. For everyone, here are tips and things to avoid with eyebrow tweezing and waxing. Absolutely the middle is important, but definitely not too far apart when you're tweezing or waxing your eyebrows. On top, you can remove the hairs that seem a little bit out of line with the eyebrow. And then on the bottom, you can definitely arch, but don't excessively arch or try to recreate your eyebrow. Your eyebrow should remain natural. You can never change it or alter it too much. You could lose the hairs, and that's definitely not what you want to do. With a brow brush, it all comes together. I use the entire brow brush along my brow line, but I use the tips for corners and edges, and maybe certain spots that are a little harder than the spots that are softer. Here's my check for balance. I look at each eye, I raise my eyebrow, I frown. I sometimes even look side by side. I fill the corners that maybe were left out, and I erase the corners that are too full with my brow brush or my Q-tip. Even my fingers are useful for a certain amount of blending. Another great tool for cleanup is your sponge. You can have a little bit of foundation or concealer on the tip of the sponge or nothing at all, and you can remove any excess makeup from your brow area.